Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for Postcard of the Week. Please like us on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll appreciate it. Coming up very soon, actually, it's just weeks away now, our 43rd Wichita Postcard Club show will be happening right here in Wichita, Kansas on October 16 and 17. And thinking ahead, realizing that all of these postcard dealers will be here from all over the country, from California to New York, Florida, and so forth, you will not believe the amount, the quantity, and the variety of postcards that will be here. Most of us have certain little avenues that we collect. We collect railway depots, or we collect ships, or we do this and that. But after you've gone through the dealers and looked for your specialties, maybe sit down, start visiting with the dealer, start looking at their selections, the ways that the dealers have presented what they brought to show you. And one of my favorite categories has always been miscellaneous, or looking at maybe a box of unfiled. Say, do you have an unfiled box that you haven't, put into categories yet? Because that will be usually interesting, or at least I think you'd find it that, but it'd be a variety of everything. It wouldn't just be all railroad stations, say. So if you look at the miscellaneous, or if you look at the unfiled cards, I think you'll find a number of surprises, and it may start you off in a whole new category to collect or to look for. Such is the case with a postcard that I'm showing this week. It's from the Voice of America, and you notice here at the bottom it says New York 19, New York. I wanted just to mention that this 19, this is all before zip codes. And so starting in 1943, we had what they called zones in our mailing addresses. Here in Wichita, I grew up at Wichita 11, Kansas. And that was our postal zone. And that apparently helped with the sorting mail and so forth. And then 20 years later, in 1963, along came the zip code that we still have and use today with abundance. But this postcard right out there in front, right on the front of the card, shows this early, or it's not that old, of course, but this earlier postal zone that's kind of interesting and neat. This card is Voice of America, and this, if I've gone to Google and looked it up and so forth, Voice of America was kind of an allied answer to the Nazi propaganda during World War II. Voice of America started also in 1943, and it's still going today in not only with radio, but with internet and so forth. But this card, I think, is interesting to me. It screams of patriotism. It screams of World War II. I turn it over and see that it was postally used in 1949, after World War II was over and before the Cold War was starting. And we were starting to, think about the people who lived on the other side, and on the other side of the Iron Curtain, all of those Eastern European countries. And so this is what this radio signal was all about. They used it all during World War II and then continued, and like I said, continuing even today. I was attracted to this particular card not only because it's the only thing I've ever seen for Voice of America, but look at the artwork here at the lower half of the card. It shows kind of a barren area, hillsides and clouds in the sky. To me, the artwork reminded me of the artist's work, Rockwell Kent. I had a brain moment there. But Rockwell Kent did this kind of barren artwork, and to me, that's reflective of his, but which I like very much. But you can see this radio tower, and then this whole thing of showing not only maybe the news from the American or the Allied standpoint, but also cultural events. It might have been classical music, it might have been a concert, it might have been rock and roll in the early times. It might have been a drama or something like that they had on the radio, and it was a way of communicating with other people all over the world, even including the Eastern European countries. Sometimes, or oftentimes, Voice of America might have been blocked, so they couldn't always get it easily. But you've seen pictures of people listening to their radio and kind of fine tuning, and a lot of times the Voice of America was heard, even though it had been blocked. On the back, we see that it was postmarked and everything used in 1949. And it's just a interesting card and a great card, I think. And it shows, and it fits into my category that I collect called social history. Well, that's it for this week. I do thank you for stopping by. Look forward to seeing you next time, and thanks very much.